Hey there, welcome to day 1087 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world of business. And today I kind of want to talk about assumptions. I was thinking about assumptions based on the idiom that I talked about today for Supersize Your Business, which was a version of, if you want to make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs. You got to break some eggs. You're going to have to break some eggs if you want to make an omelet. So that says to me, if you want a result, you have to do some things to get that result, but some of the things that you do have to be bad or have negative consequences, or they have to be unpleasant or hard. So if I want to build a business, I have to sacrifice. I have to make a lot of changes in my life. I have to work all the time. I have to hustle. I have to do things I normally wouldn't do. I have to give up my friends and family and time with them in order to make that happen. These are all assumptions. Now, are some of them maybe true? They maybe were true for someone, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be true for you. We assume things all the time. And what are our assumptions? Our assumptions are just based on our beliefs, based on the thoughts that we think a lot, which have become our beliefs, and our beliefs create, and our experiences create the assumptions that we make, the judgments that we make. Do we all assume and make judgments? Yes. Is one of my favorite thoughts and reminders is assume, when you spell it, makes an ass out of you and me if you break down the word assume. So whenever I write the word assume, whenever I say the word assume or think of assumption, I think of that because it's a reminder to me that if I am judging or making an assumption about something without asking questions and really knowing the facts and the information, not something I've heard on the news or something I've read on social media, heaven forbid, I'm making an assumption. And if I'm making thoughts and decisions based on other people's assumptions, it's just like making decisions based on rumors or false information or something that was pulled out of thin air. Any of us can pull things out of thin air and make decisions based on them, but what's the quality of the decisions that we make? What results are we going to get if, it's the garbage in, garbage out? If we're getting garbage information, misinformation, and false information, and assumptions, and feelings, and beliefs, and opinions, and propaganda in, what on earth are we going to get out of that? We're going to get garbage out. We're going to get fear and doubt and worry and drama and trauma and uncertainty, all because we're assuming, and it starts at the beginning, right? We're assuming that the information that we're getting is right. And I don't think that's a very good assumption, especially nowadays, especially with social media and all of the nonsense going on in the world. I don't think we can necessarily trust our past trusted sources. Remember when you used to be able to trust sources? I used to believe that I could Google anything on the planet and I would get the information I need. But I have learned just with the simple doing an idiom a day, the information I used to be able to get from Google and the information I get now from Google it's not the same. It's definitely been altered and changed. So it's not that I don't trust that information anymore, but I just don't go solely on that as my source for background information, especially with something I'm going to share with other people. And that's what I do with the idiom. I look at an idiom every day for my Supersize Your Business group and page, and I take that idiom and I break it down. I say, well, how would this apply to your business? And if I think about today, I didn't do a very good job because I didn't talk about, okay, well, how does this impact your business and what can you do about it? Because there's a lot of things that you can do. I did share the example of, to me, this idiom and this expression is like taking a prescription drug and assuming that your only solution to get through your life is to take a prescription drug and then have to deal with the side effects of that drug. Because every prescription drug has known effects. They call them side effects, but they're actually known effects. They've studied a lot and they know exactly the kind of things you can expect to have happen to you by taking any particular prescription drug or therapy or medical treatment, right? They've studied this stuff ad nauseum, and so they know. So they don't know which side effects you will have personally experience, because we're all different, right? Every one of us, all of us human beings are different. So the side effects I experience from something might be different than the side effects that even my sister or my kids would experience from that. And like I said, I have stories and stories about prescriptions and medical stuff and drugs, but I don't talk about that stuff very often because number one, it's like personal and traumatic. And number two, it's not really that pertinent to what I'm doing these days. So assumptions, I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to do this from now on a pretty regular basis. I'm going to ask myself on a scale of 1 to 10, how much am I assuming versus how much do I actually know? I'll give you an example. People spout off about politics and religion and things like that all the time. Why? Because we have core values and deep-seated beliefs that we've locked onto and latched onto about certain topics, certain areas of our life. Fidelity would be another one. People have strong feelings, either pro or con. Fidelity. People have strong feelings, pro or con, pro-choice, pro-life, things like that. We all have strong feelings about certain topics in our life, things that touch the core of who we really are. And if someone else tries to convince us that our belief is wrong and theirs is right, what does it usually lead to? Headbutting, fighting, name-calling, bullying, inappropriate, negative behavior that never got anybody to change their mind. No one ever changed their mind and their actual core beliefs and feelings about something because somebody bullied them or threatened them. They may behave in the short term in the way the person coerces them to behave, but in the long term, they haven't really changed their beliefs or how they feel about things on the inside just because somebody tries to manipulate or coerce or hurt them or harm them in some way. I don't know why I'm getting off on this tangent, but it's all based on assumptions. So we can't assume, oh, I know what it was. We assume that we know what other people are thinking. When somebody makes a comment on social media, everybody jumps on and hops on and then gives their opinion or beats the person up because they shared something on social media. Now, what we forget is that 99.999% of the time, all they're sharing is their opinion, their thoughts, their beliefs on a particular topic or subject matter. And what they think is none of our business. Who cares what they think, right? And I have to remember, especially around politically charged times, to remind myself of that because guess what? I don't really care most of the time, almost 100% of the time, how other people feel about certain things, how they feel about religion, how they feel about sexuality, how they feel about politics. I couldn't care less. It's about people as human beings becoming better human beings. And that, my assumption is that everyone is capable of that. Everyone can do that. Everybody who chooses to can evolve, become more centered, be more humane toward one another. Today's centering challenge, speaking of center, was actually something known as this. It's become known as the serenity prayer. You know, God, give us the serenity to accept that which we cannot change. Give us the courage to change what should be changed. Give us the wisdom to distinguish one from the other. This was the Reinhold Niebuhr version of that. I don't know who's credited with the serenity prayer, but according to my little journal book, do one thing every day that centers you, which we're doing a 365-day challenge on this year. 2021 to me feels like a year where I might need to do a little more work on myself, personal development, centering, calming, relaxing behavior, because sometimes our environment and the things around us make us a little crazy and want to make us break eggs. So I was going to use real eggs as a demo for this today for the omelet idiom, and then I just said, yeah, no, I know where I've got some Easter eggs. I'll just go ahead and break them instead. Much less messy. And I tend to make messes. So my luck, I would spill a bunch of eggs, and that would be not what I wanted to. Again, assuming that I'm going to be a klutz. I'm going to make a mess. So those are the things I'm working on right now. Getting ready and working on the next Get Up and Go challenge. February 1st, we're going to start another challenge. I absolutely positively want to. I'm excited to start another challenge. It's going to be 30 days. Not sure exactly what and how I'm going to do. I kind of want to blow it up a little bit. Got into a really fun groove last year doing it. Did 5 30-plus day challenges last year for the Get Up and Go challenge, and to help people get through the craziness that was COVID-19. Now, here we are in 2021. It's already the 19th. I don't usually talk about the date, but it's, it's the 19th of January. So we're well into the month of January, past the halfway point. And COVID's still going strong. All the political stuff still going strong in the United States, and it's just kind of in an upheaval. And so in order to not feel like we're out of control, like the Serenity Prayer says, control the things that you can control. Choose your reaction. We can always choose our reaction. So my reaction to chaos and uncertainty around me is to create structure and calm and centering this year, not usually, but centering around what I can control. And I can control doing a challenge and challenging myself to make progress in the areas of my life that are important to me, in the areas of anybody's life that are important to them. It's not important as much as what's going on around you, as what's going on inside you. And if you're letting the things around you seep in and impact you, which I'm guilty this month, I have definitely been letting negativity and nonsense affect me and affect what I'm thinking about, what I'm feeling, and how I'm performing. And that is not okay. It's not okay to me in my judgment of myself. I don't know if anybody else cares, but I care. And so I want to make sure that I am steeling myself against the outer nonsense and helping other people to do the same. So we'll start that on February 1st. That's it. That's all I've got today. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. If you're interested in the challenge, ask about that in the comments below too. It's free, of course. My challenges are always free. That's my way of sharing and giving back some of the things that I've learned over 60 years of struggle and trials and tribulation. And guess what? Most of it wasn't a struggle, right? When we think about our lives, we're so often called to describe things as all the pain and problems and struggles and challenges we've had. But if we look back, really, although those things are utmost in our mind because we're trained to think about those things and focus on those things and be victims and feel sorry for ourselves and think, ain't it awful? Vast majority of my life and my experiences have been absolutely positively awesome. And so those are the things I choose to focus on and look at and pay attention to. I invite you to do the same. All right, have an amazing day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.